Hey there, Horace. I just wanted to let you know that we are officially done with the unpacking. I guess that means that we can also officially start our new life as almost husband and wife. Oh, I really am just so excited and proud of us. We've worked so hard and gone through so much to get here.
I know! And I can't wait to finally start living with you. Feels like we've been talking about this forever.
I know, and now it's all finally coming together and happening for real. I'm so excited to see what our life is going to be like now that we're going to be together. This is actually the first time I'm ever going to be living with another man, so I bet there'll be a lot to learn.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that strange. I mean, in some ways, it's just like having a roommate who you're going to be married to.
Well, if you say so. But still, I wonder what kind of odd little habits of yours I'm going to pick up on. I don't know. I guess that I'm just excited and nervous for all this to start finally happening.
Oh, I understand that. I mean, after all, your father did pass away when you were pretty young, right?
That's right. My dad died when I was only 5 years old, and so I hardly have any memories of living with him at all. Although I've been told that my mom can be pretty mannish as well, so who knows, maybe I do know what it's like to live with a man, and I just haven't realized it yet.
Well, I suppose you're going to find out soon enough. But yeah, I did get that kind of feeling from your mom, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, she could get pretty scary sometimes. But of course, she was also a really good mom as well.
I think that she did a great job raising you, and you should have nothing but pride over the job that she did.
I agree. I mean, I love my mom so much, and I realize all the sacrifices she made for us. In fact, I suppose I loved her so much that that's probably why I'm getting married at the age I am. I just always wanted to make sure that she had someone around who could take care of her.
Oh, come on. What's wrong with getting married at 30? Although, it is pretty surprising that I was your first boyfriend as well. I don't know. To me, it makes the whole thing feel like fate at work to bring us together.
I know what you mean, although sometimes I get a little embarrassed thinking like that.
I don't think you have anything to be embarrassed or ashamed of, Sally. I'm honored to be the first man that you've had feelings for like this. And I just know that you're going to get used to living with my stinky, gross man self right away.
Well, you should have seen how shocked my friends were when I told them that we were getting married. Not only were they shocked that I even had a boyfriend, but they couldn't believe how fast we decided to get hitched.
I suppose you could say that we weren't really dating for all that long. But what kind of things were your friends saying to you about us?
Oh, they were just asking if I was sure about this and if you were the one and all that kind of thing. And I told them that of course I was sure and that I really love you. I explained how well you take care of me, too.
Aw, well, that is really sweet of you. But I suppose you would have been pretty disappointed if you weren't getting married yet, right? I mean, you were just talking about being too old and stuff.
Oh, it's okay, though. Besides, there's more immediate things to worry about. But I think you were right to say that we should skip spending too much on the wedding and put the money towards our honeymoon. Besides, both my parents are gone now, so as much as I can't wait to get married, I don't feel a huge need to have a giant ceremony.
I understand that, but I'm also sure that both your parents are looking down at you and couldn't be more proud of what you've accomplished.
I just hope that they can rest easier knowing that their daughter is in good hands with you, Horace. I never really saw myself getting married before I met you, if I can be honest. So this even took me a little bit by surprise.
I mean, when you told me that I was the first person that you've ever dated, I was pretty shocked. You're so kind and sweet and pretty, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, Horace, you're going to make me blush if you start saying all of that. But thank you for the kind words. Oh, also, before I forget, we're going to go to the courthouse tomorrow, right?
The courthouse? What are you going to do there?
Well, we need to have the civil ceremony and pick up our marriage certificate and all that.
Oh, really? Is that how that works? I feel like every state has their own laws, so it's hard to keep track of.
Of course that's how it works. I told you that we'd have to do this earlier. Did you forget?
Well, it's not that I forgot, but I actually have some errands that I need to run tomorrow. I'm really sorry, but could you do all of that by yourself?
You want me to go and pick up our marriage certificate all by myself? I don't know, I feel like this is kind of a big deal. I was picturing us going and doing this together.
I know, but this thing popped up and I just have to take care of it, and it would be impossible to try to reschedule it now.
Oh, I see. Well, I was really looking forward to getting to do this with you all day.
Well then, how about we just go and do it together a different day? Would that work for you?
Well, it's just that tomorrow is actually the anniversary of my parents, so I kind of wanted to try and do it then. I don't really have any other day that would make it as special as that one.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't really know what to say.
I can't believe that you forgot we were going to do this. I'm kind of hurt by this, Horace.
I really am so sorry about the mix-up, but I just don't see how I could get tomorrow to work for me. So if you really only want to do it tomorrow, then I think you'll have to go on your own. But I promise that we'll have a great first anniversary next year, got it? I promise you, you have my word, Sally!
It's fine. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be picky like this. I can just go and do it myself tomorrow. But just please don't ever forget something this important again, okay?
Hey, Sally, are you there? Oh, really sorry about this, but it's gonna be another late night for me. You could go ahead and eat dinner without me.
You mean you're staying late at the office again? What is it this time?
I'm really sorry, but there's a lot to do here and I won't be home until late. You'll probably end up going to bed before me.
You know, you've been coming home later for a while now. We've been married for a month and I feel like you and I have barely gotten to spend any time together. To be honest with you, I'm starting to feel pretty lonely waiting at home for you.
I'm so sorry about this, Sally, but there are just some really important things that I need to take care of and I can't move them around.
And just what really important thing is keeping you late at the office this time? Because even on our wedding day, you said the same thing. I don't know, I guess I just thought that things would change when you and I got married, but you're starting to make me nervous. I'm starting to wonder if you even really love me, Horace.
What are you talking about? Of course I really love you! How could you even say something like that to me?
Well, you sure have a funny way of showing it when I hardly ever see my own husband. I just wish you would try and show me that you loved me with words or actions or something.
Okay, I'll come clean to you, Sally. The truth is that I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a while now.
Come clean about what? What is it? Please, Horace, you're starting to scare me here. Have you been hiding something? Do you have a secret that I should know about or something?
The truth about me is that my dad is really sick. Deathly sick, in fact. And he's going to have a surgery if he has any shot at living. Not only that, but the surgery is going to cost tens of thousands of dollars that we don't have.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh, Horace, I had no idea about your dad. We've been married this whole time, and you haven't even gone to go and visit them once.
I know, and I feel absolutely terrible about it. Well, when I found out about my dad being sick, well, I didn't want to spoil the first month of being married. So I'm sorry for not saying this earlier.
Oh, Horace, you should know that you don't have to hide that kind of thing from me. Please, you should have come to me about this sooner. I would have supported you.
You're right, I should have known better, but I guess that I just let my pride get in the way. But now that I think about it, you're absolutely right. I guess I'm nothing more than a coward, and now we can all see that. But I'm sorry for scaring you. That isn't what I wanted to do.
It's okay, but I really was getting nervous since I was barely seeing you. Although I'm sure that you must be so worried about your dad. But you should have known that I'd understand where you were coming from. After all, both of my parents passed away to illnesses that I wasn't able to help them get treatment for. But now that I know this about your dad, I would like to do anything that I can to help you, if you'll let me.
Well, right now my dad's condition is worsening, and he's in the hospital getting treatment. I've been doing a lot to try to save money where I can. But I've also been going to visit him before and after work when I'm able to.
So that's why you've been gone from the house so often? Well, please, tell me if there's anything that I can do.
You mean that you really want to help me out? I don't know what to say.
Horace, of course I want to help you. You're my husband, and your dad is my father-in-law. We're family, and this is what families do. It's not going to be easy, but at least we'll have each other.
Sally, I just don't even know what to say right now. Except thank you. Thank you so much for always wanting to be there for me. Do you think you could reach out to my mom and ask her for things that you could do? You know her knees are bad, so it's extra difficult for her to take care of my dad.
Got it. I'll try and make some time to go and visit your mom at home so that I can talk to her about this.
That would be a huge help! I'm sorry for the trouble this might cause you, but I'm so happy we're going to do this together. Hey, Sally, are you still at my parents' house? I was just curious if you had anything planned for dinner.
Oh, shoot, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I'm still with your mom, and then I'll have to go and do some shopping, too.
Oh, I see. So then what about dinner? What am I supposed to do?
I'll be sure and stop somewhere on the way home and pick something up for you.
Oh, man, so we're getting takeout again? I'm starting to miss your cooking, you know? When was the last time you made something for me?
I know, and I'm sorry I haven't. I've just been really busy trying to help at your mom's. In fact, I'm of half a mind to just skip dinner myself and go straight to bed. I've been running around all day trying to help her out. I feel like I haven't had a second to sit down at all.
Okay, well, you do realize that I need to eat too, right? You're not just going to let me starve, are you?
I'm sorry, Horace. I should have told you I was still with your mom. If you're really hungry right now, how about you cook something for yourself? There should be some leftovers in the fridge if you want some of those.
You really expect me to eat leftovers? No! I'm going to draw myself a bath. You better get back here and have dinner ready by the time I get out.
But why can't you just make something for yourself? I just told you that I was with your mom all day trying to help her out.
And what about the duties that you have at our house, huh? Did you forget about those?
I didn't forget. I was just putting your mom and dad first. You know, you could help out a bit more around the house since I'm helping your mom now.
Listen to me, Sally. You were the one that said you wanted to help out since my dad was sick, right? So don't try to slog off your responsibilities on me just because you bit off more than you could chew. I'm not going to cover for you. Do you get me?
I know I said that I wanted to help you out because of your dad. But I guess I just thought that we'd be doing more cooperating because of that as well. And your mom is working me really hard. She has a comment to make about every little thing that I do. So by the time I'm done at her place, I am just absolutely exhausted.
I'm starting to get pretty sick of all these excuses that you're trying to give me. You're the one who said you wanted to help, so why don't you keep your word and help?
Horace, I think that you've really started to change recently. You used to be so sweet and kind to me, and I haven't felt that way in a while now.
Well, if you think that I've changed, it's probably because I've been having to put up with you this whole time. You have any idea how hard it's been taking care of my dad? You think you're the only one with extra work on their plate?
Well, how is your dad? Is he doing any better? You haven't talked about it much.
It's not looking good, and the doctors are saying that if we don't move fast, that he's not going to make it.
Well, then it sounds to me like it might finally be time to schedule the surgery for him, right?
I thought I told you that it's going to cost me an arm and a leg, and I don't have that kind of money right now.
You mean neither you nor your parents have enough money saved for something like this?
Of course we don't! If we did, then we wouldn't be in this position in the first place!
Well then, what are we going to do about your dad? What's going to happen to him?
If you're so concerned about getting him the surgery, then why don't you cough up the money for it?
You want me to pay for your dad's surgery?
Well, I remember that you told me before we got married that you've been saving for years and already had something like $50,000 saved up, right?
Yes, I did tell you that.
Well, then why don't you give me that money so that I can use it to save my dad's life, huh?
I was really hoping to use that money after we had kids for the things we'd need for them. Or at least use it for an emergency that we might face as a family in the future.
Oh, so you mean my dad lying on his deathbed isn't an emergency enough for you? You really are much more cruel than I thought. Just go ahead and say that you don't care at all about what happens to my dad.
Horace, please, I think that you're being really unfair to me right now.
You said that families help each other in their time of need, didn't you? So what makes this a case where you don't need to help out? What the heck did I even marry you for if you're not going to help my family?
I don't understand what you mean by that. Are you saying that you only married me for my money?
I'm saying that you talked about all that money that you had saved up before we got married. You knew what you were doing, too. You told me that because you knew it would sweeten the pot for us being together.
Horace, I only wanted to be honest with you, and I wanted to marry you because I thought you loved me.
You think that I actually fell in love with a woman who was well past her prime and had no other motivation? You really are a batty old broad if you think that's true. I did you the favor of marrying you, but I won't hesitate to leave you either. Hey, have you still not transferred the 50 grand to my dad's surgery yet? In fact, you haven't even been in the house recently. Where are you right now?
What is the matter with you, Horace? Why are you asking me this all of a sudden?
This isn't all of a sudden! You've known about this for a while! Now hurry up and get the money ready for my dad!
I can't just give you all the money like that at once. Besides, I really don't care what happens to your dad.
Excuse me? What did you just say to me? You don't care that my dad could die any day now? What's the matter with you? You really don't care at all what happens to your father-in-law?
You say all of that, but there isn't any money to give.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I spent it. I spent all of the money.
You spent it? What are you talking about? What did you spend it on?
Well, I decided to buy myself a nice little old house, if you must know. I'm going to work on it and turn it into the house of my dreams.
You did what? Why in the world would you spend your money on that? What's the matter with you? I need that money!
I bought the house because that's where I'm going to live.
What does that even mean? We have a nice place to live in already! I don't want to live in some crappy old house!
Oh, trust me, you're not going to be welcome there anyways. I'm going to live there on my own. I'm moving out, and I want to get a divorce.
Have you gone crazy? What the heck is going on here?
I mean that I am sick and tired of putting up with you and your mother day in and day out. On top of that, I'm not going to let you lay a finger on my hard-earned savings.
Oh, come on, I wasn't actually serious about that, you know? Besides, the money's going to my dad!
For what? It's not like your dad is even sick. It may be true that he's in the hospital, but he's not sick. He was just in a car crash. In fact, I thought from the start that something was wrong. What hospital asks for payments for a surgery up front? And why wasn't insurance going to cover most of the cost anyways? Then, while I was at your mom's house, I used her phone to call your dad.
You did what? Why in the world would you do something like that?
Well, just to figure out what it was that was making you lie to me. But not even your dad knew that you were trying to use him to extort me.
Hold on a second. I think there's been some kind of mistake here.
Are you sure about that? Or do you want to tell me about the debt that you are hiding from your parents and I?
Wait, hold on a second. How did you know about that?
Oh, I didn't. But your mom did, didn't she? And she suggested that you try and get the money from somewhere before your dad found out.
Does my dad know now? Did you tell him?
Well, I haven't yet, but it's only a matter of time now. Maybe I should go and tell him, in fact.
No! You can't do that! Please don't!
Okay then, why don't you tell me just how you got into all that debt?
I just have really expensive tastes is all, okay? I eat out at nice restaurants a bunch. My dad is such a tightwad that he would never be okay with me spending like that. So when he got in the hospital, I thought it was finally my time!
And then you went overboard buying steaks? That's how you ended up tens of thousands of dollars in debt?
You have no idea just how strict my dad was. He would control everything at home for years!
Well, that explains how your mom got to the way that she is. I've never met such a neurotic person before.
I know. When Dad got in the accident, we thought it meant it would finally be free of him. We thought he actually would die. But that damn old man just won't let go!
He's been in the hospital for about 6 months now, right? You must have really thought he would never have come back.
I know, but now we're neck deep in debt and in serious trouble. So I need to pay this all off before he gets out.
Well, that really isn't my problem at all. I'm already moved out.
Well, come back! You have to come back!
And why would I do something like that?
Don't you get it? Who's gonna marry you if you leave me? You'll be single forever!
I'd rather be single for the rest of my life than spend it with a man who tricked me for my money. I won't tell your dad, but just know that he'll find out soon enough, and when he does, I won't be there to help you. After that, the doctors started to report gradual recovery from his father. After spending so much time at the hospital, they thought that it was finally time he be transferred back home and taken care of there. Of course, when Horace and his mom found out about this, they started running around like crazy trying to pay off their debts. But their efforts weren't enough, and Horace's father found out about the debt within a matter of days after returning. Since the debt was all accumulated on his father's credit cards, Horace was sued by his own father. His parents also ended up divorcing in the aftermath of the truth coming to light. Horace and his mother were burdened with all of the debt that they had racked up. Not only that, but since it was the dad who owned the house, the two of them were forced out and moved into a tiny apartment. The two of them are working several jobs now in order to try and pay off their debts. As for me, I moved into my newly purchased home and slowly began turning it into a place of my own. My mom was a contractor who did a lot of her own construction work, so I had learned from a young age all about home improvement. It's sad that my first and only relationship ended the way it did, but I knew that I couldn't let down my parents who were looking down on me from above. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hi, mother-in-law. Thank you for taking care of me for 35 years. Were you expecting me to say that? What? You're still an unlivable daughter-in-law until the very end. From now on, I don't want to call you mother-in-law anymore. I'll call you Rose instead. Do as you like. I don't even want to remember you were technically my daughter-in-law. Let's cut ties completely while we're at it. For once, we finally agree. So, when are you gonna move out? Get out already. If you're not gone by the time Leo and I get back, you'll be sorry. My moving boxes are already packed, and I'm just waiting for my ride now. Oh, I see. You married into this family 35 years ago. I heard everyone in your family had passed away, leaving you with no relatives. So you managed to find a friend to give you a ride? Surprising. Haha. What time are you leaving? I'm out of here in 10 minutes. Oh, okay. I'll kick you out if you stay longer than that. No need to worry. What do you mean? I want to leave here as soon as possible too. I'm already waiting outside the front door. What? You can't be serious, standing outside with all your belongings? Yes, I am. What about it? On a scorching day like this with no shade, what are you doing? You're right. It's terribly hot today, isn't it? Are you actually concerned about me? How sweet of you. At least wait inside. The neighbors would think something. It's too late for that. Everyone knows what a mean, abusive wife you are. What? You took advantage of my caregiving experience to dump caring for your parents on me. You pushed all the housework onto me. You made me care for your father too. And then as soon as it was all done, you forced me to divorce your son and kicked me out. The whole neighborhood knows about it. What? You can't be serious. You didn't know about that? To badmouth me to the neighbors out of spite for the divorce? How could you? You think the neighbors would believe you? It's a fact. You seem confused, but I didn't do anything. What? You don't know the neighbors heard you screaming insults at me? What are you talking about? The neighbors kept expressing concern for me. Like the time you locked me out at night, they took me in. They even suggested calling the police because it was so bad. When did I ever do that? I just told them not to make a big deal. And that after all, you're still family. Oh, looks like my ride is arriving soon. Anything else to say before we end this chat? If not, I'll put the keys in the mailbox. Okay? Wait a minute. I married in at 21. Naive and helpless for 35 years. Leo and your family were so kind. Lily, everyone but you. And 35 years living with my in-laws, I endured a lot. Hey, can we talk for a minute? Before you go, I want you to tell the neighbors the truth, that you weren't abused. I'll be home in a minute. Oops, sorry. I already got in the car. Goodbye. Clara, I may be imagining things, but I didn't see you pull up to that fancy store in Rodeo Drive in a blacked-out luxury car, did I? What's going on? Whose fancy car was that? And who was that man with you? Don't tell me you've already got a new guy as soon as you got divorced. Have you no shame? After being a housewife for 35 years, how can you afford a car like that? The divorce settlement was only meant to cover basic living expenses for a while. What's really happening here? Clara, aren't you going to explain yourself? What's the deal? You know you're supposed to answer my calls right away. How dare a daughter-in-law make her mother-in-law wait like this? Leo, how are things on your end? Is your mother still furious with you? I've been getting so many angry calls and text messages from her.
She's really scary when she's like this. Are you okay? You can't let it affect your health again. Just block Mom, that might be best.
You're right. Even thinking about her is too painful.
When I get home from work earlier, my mom seemed more confused than angry when she saw me.
I mean, she knows I don't have enough money for a luxury car like that. I was surprised to even be in that car myself. I was just going shopping with my brother. She jumped to conclusions as usual. I'll try to set her straight.
In hindsight, it was smart you never told Mom about your half-brother.
Anyway, is the rest of the plan still on track?
Ah, yes. It should all fall into place in about 2 more months. That's when my sister and her family return from their overseas assignment. My mother's scheme will unravel then. It'll work out. We just have to hang in there until then.
Yes, I am waiting patiently for you. Leo, answer the phone. What the hell is going on? Explain yourself.
What happened? I'm at work, but what is this all about?
I haven't heard anything.
What are you talking about?
Why is your sister's stuff delivered here?
The delivery guy said it would be in the afternoon, but oh well.
What are you talking about? Why would Leah's belongings from abroad get delivered to our house?
Oh wait, didn't I mention she said she's coming back home today with her stuff?
Huh?
Mom, are you going senile? I told you about this months ago.
Huh? What? I don't remember that at all.
I said Leah's husband's overseas assignment was ending, so the whole family is moving back. And that eventually we'd live together with the grandkids, so we're renovating this house to make it a multi-family home. Remember?
What are you going on about? Renovating? This is my house. It can't be done without my permission.
What, Mom, did you forget that too? After Dad passed, the house was inherited by me. You really don't listen, do you, Mom?
When did you do that without telling me?
Last summer when they came back for a visit. Alright, you were on that hot springs trip with your friends then.
So just because I didn't know means you can do whatever you want?
I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. I even wrote it on the whiteboard by the entrance.
The whiteboard?
What? You mean you didn't even look at that? Writing important messages on that board was your idea in the first place. Remember? Well, you're always going out, Mom, so it's hard to get a hold of you. And you don't answer calls or read my texts thoroughly. So when I complained, you said it's a hassle to be told everything verbally or over text. And you wrote up that whiteboard and put it there yourself, telling me to write things down on it instead. You forgot? I guess I never got into the habit of checking it. So what are we supposed to do from now on? If Leah and her family will live here, what about me and you? Oh God. That house belongs to brother-in-law as of this summer.
Huh?
So, starting today, you and I have to move out since they'll be living there now. This is what happens when you don't read the board, Mom. You should really discuss your living situation going forward with Leah's family.
Why didn't you tell me something so important in person?
I did tell you, you just weren't listening. You were brushing it off dismissively like, got it, but clearly you didn't actually get it at all.
That wasn't my intention at all. Where will you live? Can't I live with you?
I got assigned to a factory in Texas, so I already sent my stuff up there.
Texas? That's so far.
Oh yeah, I did ask you before if you would want to go to Texas.
You asked me that? I thought you meant for a trip.
I remember you said you'd hate to live somewhere that hot.
But you're going to live up there all alone at your age?
I won't be alone. Clara has already gone up there to wait for me.
What? Clara? Why would she do that? You're telling me your divorced ex is waiting for you up there? You're lying.
I'm not. I never divorced her, and I never planned to either.
What's going on? You really think someone as clueless as Clara would make it up in Texas? Are you sure about that?
Mom, quit disparaging her already.
She's useless.
You may not have known, but she got all kinds of certifications to work in elderly care.
Oh. I knew she had some care certifications to help look after your grandma and grandpa.
Certifications, yes. She studied and got licensed for whatever was needed as we went along.
I didn't realize that.
And that's why you shouldn't talk bad about a hardworking person.
Whatever. Actually, right after she left this house, I saw her shackling up with some new guy. She's just a shameless hussy.
I never told you about that. My bad for the misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? Are you saying I'm wrong?
The guy you saw with Clara was her brother.
What? Don't be ridiculous. Clara's whole family died a long time ago.
Mom, I kept this from you, but she's her mom's child from another man.
What?
She had a different biological father. I didn't mention it because I figured you'd make a fuss over it.
Make a fuss over what?
So, this other father of Clara's passed away recently and left her an inheritance.
Why keep something that important from me? You know I'd have to be involved with anything involving money.
Exactly, that's why I didn't tell you. I knew you'd be antsy about it like you are now.
Clara's inheritance belongs to the family she married into.
See, you're already eyeing her assets.
Well, I can't say the thought didn't cross my mind.
You've had her do all the housework and elder care. Of course, you tried taking her money too.
What? Leo, whose side are you on?
I've been on Clara's side from the start.
What about me? You're abandoning your own mother?
Clara said the only reason she persevered through your constant nagging and belittling to care for Grandma, Grandpa, and Dad until the very end was because I, along with them, thanked her for it over and over. There was a time I suggested moving out, but she said at least while caring for the elders, she couldn't bring herself to leave. A wife as admirable as that, there's no way I'd abandon her. In fact, I plan to keep repaying her from now on.
So, what am I supposed to do?
You need to have a serious discussion with Leah's family about your living situation going forward.
This is insane. I can't believe this is happening.
As harsh as this sounds, you should deeply regret all the verbal abuse you put Clara through.
Leo, can I come with you to Texas?
What? You're still on about that? Sorry, but if it means protecting my wife, I'm willing to cut ties as your son.
Please don't say such an awful thing.
Well, I won't cut ties completely, but if you keep giving her a hard time, I'll have to seriously consider it.
I'll just ask to stay with Leah's family then. I don't care if you abandon me.
Oh, I did forget one thing.
What now? Is there more?
Leah's mother-in-law lives alone, so they decided she'll move in with them too.
What?
Leah's family, their son's family, the grandkid, and the grandmother all under one roof? Haha. Even with the good wife-mother-in-law relationship they have, that's going to be tight. Haha. Which means there's no room for you, Mom.
So what am I supposed to do? A helpless old lady all alone?
I asked you about this over and over in advance. It's your own fault for not listening. Well, you'll just have to figure something out then, won't you?
It's not too late, is it? I'll apologize to Clara for how I treated her.
What good will apologizing to her do?
Could you please ask her if she can support me financially to live alone? Please.
Mom, I can't even begin to describe how appalling that request is. After everything you put her through and leached off her labor, to come begging for money once you're in a bind? Have you no shame?
I never expected things to turn out like this. I thought with her out of the picture, there'd be one less mouth to feed and we'd be better off financially.
What an idiotically selfish thing to say. Trying to play the victim after you tried driving Clara out? Even if she forgives you, I never will. And I don't think her brother will either.
Her brother? I've never met him or anything.
Since you always complained about Clara's family matters, I avoided telling you, but I'll explain.
What is it?
Clara's biological father was a very important person who basically ran this whole area.
What?
And her brother took over as the new boss after him.
You're lying.
Unfortunately not, and in fact, you gave his little sister a hard time, so you're likely on his radar now too.
No way.
That's why stop harassing her. Be careful.
Why is this happening?
Well, in any case, Leah's family will be there soon. So discuss it with them and figure it out. Mom, reflect deeply on how awfully you treated the woman who sacrificed so much to care. Goodbye.
Leo, did you make it to the airport?
Hey Clara. They said boarding starts in 30 minutes.
It's been so long, hasn't it? Finally, after 35 years, it's over.
Oh, I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused you.
No, it's alright. Well, I certainly don't have any fond memories with your mother. Thinking back actually makes me tear up from how much resentment I felt. But your grandparents and father-in-law were always kind to me, and in the end, I was able to repay them by caring for them.
They were all grateful to you.
It was difficult, but I was able to go through it because you were always on my side. Thank you, truly.
No, thank you, Clara. I'm the one who is eternally grateful to have had you taking care of me this whole time. I never properly expressed it to your face, but thank you.
From now on, it will be just the two of us, helping each other out together.
Yeah, that's right.
What is your mother going to do?
I asked my sister earlier, and she said Mom is still in shock, just stunned silent. Probably because I ended up telling her about your family situation too.
What? You told her about my brother?
My bad.
Well, it's fine. When she knows my brother's occupation, she'll probably become much more compliant.
You're probably right. Looks like we're about to board.
I'll go pick you up.
Thank you. See you later.
Yes, see you soon. Since my mother-in-law had nowhere to live, she meekly lived with my sister-in-law's family. But I guess she got tired of having to walk on eggshells because she started acting completely selfish and unrestrained. Eventually, it came out that she had been secretly tormenting Leah's daughter-in-law behind their backs, and she ended up getting kicked out. That said, Leah isn't heartless, so she was looking for an elderly care home that Rose could move into. Rose reluctantly moved in, but since no one would come visit her, probably because of her arrogant attitude, she wasn't able to get along with anyone at the facility either, leaving her isolated and alone, which was her own doing. As pitiful as her lonely twilight years are, word is her dementia has been progressing lately. Apparently, she's been apologizing to the care staff, saying, "I'm sorry, Clara,"